Hi, and welcome to English-Fabule. Are you learning English? Great. Let's learn English with a very interesting story. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment. Let's get started.
1. Introduction. Nikola Tesla. It's a name you might recognize, but do you know the incredible story behind it? Tesla was more than just a scientist. He was a true genius, a man surrounded by mystery and wonder. Some people even thought his ideas were like something from the future. But in reality, Tesla was a brilliant inventor who changed our world in ways we still see today. He is often called the man who invented the modern world. And it's easy to see why. Just look around you. Electricity powers our homes, our cities, and almost everything we use. Tesla was the person who made this possible on a large scale. His most important invention was alternating current, AC, electricity. This AC system is much more efficient for delivering power over long distances, and it is the system we use everywhere today. Imagine a world without easy access to electricity. That was the world before Tesla's AC power became widespread. But Tesla's genius didn't stop there. He also made important steps in radio technology, and he developed many other amazing inventions, from motors to lights, all based on his unique understanding of electricity and energy. His work has had a massive impact on our lives, shaping how we communicate, travel, and live. This book is a journey into the life of Nikola Tesla. We will explore his journey from a young boy with a curious mind to a world-famous inventor. We will discover his challenges, his triumphs, and the incredible legacy he left behind. Our goal is to understand not just his inventions, but the man himself, and how he became the genius who helped create the modern world. 2. Tesla's young days. Nikola Tesla was born in a small village called Smiljan. This village was in the Austrian Empire, in a place we now know as Croatia. The year was 1856, on the 10th of July. Tesla's family was Serbian. His father, Milutin Tesla, was a priest in the Eastern Orthodox Church. Milutin was born in 1819 and died in 1879. He was a respected man in the community and was known to be intelligent. Nikola's uncle, Joseph, was also a clever man. He taught maths at a military school and wrote books about maths. Nikola's mother was called Georgina Mandich, but people called her Duka. She was born in 1822 and died in 1892. Duka's father was also an Orthodox priest. Even though she did not go to school, Duka was very talented. She was good at making things with her hands, like tools and simple machines for the home. She also had a fantastic memory and could remember long Serbian poems. Nikola believed he got his good memory and creative ideas from his mother. She had a big influence on him when he was a child. Nikola was not the only child in his family. He had 4 siblings. He had 3 sisters, Milka, Angelina, and Marika. He also had an older brother named Dane. Sadly, when Nikola was about 6 or 7 years old, a very sad thing happened. Dane died in an accident while riding a horse. This was a very difficult time for the whole family, and it likely affected Nikola deeply. When Nikola was a young boy, in 1861, he started primary school in Smiljan. At school, he learned German, maths, and religion. German was taught because it was the language used in schools in that area at that time. In 1862, the Tesla family moved to a town nearby called Gospic. His father got a job as a priest there. Nikola continued his primary school in Gospic and then went to middle school there too. Even when he was young, people noticed that Nikola was very good at maths. Later, he remembered being interested in electricity because of his physics teacher. The teacher showed the class some experiments with electricity. Nikola said these mysterious phenomena made him want to learn more about this wonderful force. In high school, Nikola was so good at maths that he could do very complex calculations in his head. His teachers thought he might be cheating because he was so fast and accurate. He was very clever and finished 4 years of high school in only 3 years. He finished high school in 1873. After finishing high school, Nikola went back to Smiljan. But soon after, he became very sick with cholera. Cholera is a serious illness. Nikola was in bed for 9 months, and he almost died many times. During this very difficult time, his father had a serious talk with him. His father had wanted Nikola to become a priest like him, but when Nikola was very sick, his father made a promise. He promised Nikola that if he got better, he would send him to the best engineering school. Nikola did get better. He said that reading books by Mark Twain helped him while he was recovering. This promise from his father was very important. It changed the direction of Nikola's life and helped him to become the famous inventor we know today. His early years, filled with family influences and childhood experiences, shaped the brilliant mind that would later change the world with his invention. 3. Going to school. After primary and middle school, it was time for Nikola to go to high school. He moved to a town called Karlovac. High school in Karlovac was different. The lessons were in German. This was normal in that part of Europe at that time. Nikola was very good at school, especially in maths. In Karlovac, something happened that made Nikola even more interested in physics, especially electricity. His physics teacher showed the class some experiments with electricity. Nikola was fascinated. He wanted to learn everything about this mysterious force. He started to think a lot about how electricity worked. People noticed Nikola's amazing skills in maths. He could do very difficult maths problems in his head. His teachers even thought he was cheating because he was so fast and accurate. He finished 4 years of high school in just 3 years. He was a very clever student. After finishing high school, Nikola went back home to Smiljan. But soon, he became very sick with cholera. Cholera is a serious illness. Nikola was very ill for 9 months. There were times when everyone thought he would die. During this very difficult time, Nikola's father made him a promise. His father had always wanted Nikola to become a priest. But when Nikola was very sick, his father promised him something different. If Nikola got better, his father would let him go to the best engineering school. This promise gave Nikola hope and strength to fight the illness. Slowly, Nikola started to get better. He recovered from cholera. True to his promise, Nikola's father helped him to go to a good school for engineering. Nikola chose to study at the Graz University of Technology in Austria. He was excited to learn more about machines and electricity. At university in Graz, Nikola was a very good student at first. He got excellent marks in his first year. He was especially interested in the lectures about electricity. One of his professors showed the class an electric motor. Nikola thought he knew how to make it better. He even told his professor his ideas. However, in his 3rd year at Graz, things changed. Nikola stopped going to classes. He did not finish his studies at Graz University. He left in December 1878. People started to talk. Some said that Nikola had been asked to leave the university because he was gambling too much and losing money. Others said he was spending too much time with women and not studying enough. Whatever the reason, Nikola's time at Graz University ended without a degree. He left school and started a new chapter in his life, but not in the way anyone expected. 4. Working in Europe. After leaving Graz, Tesla's family didn't know where he was. They were worried because they hadn't heard from him for a while. Some of his classmates even thought he had fallen into a river. But in January 1879, one of his friends saw him in Maribor, a town not far from Graz. He told Tesla's family that he was working there as a draftsman, drawing plans for buildings and machines. He earned 60 florins each month. In March, Tesla's father, Milutin, found him in Maribor. He wanted Tesla to come home and continue his education in Prague. Tesla went back to Gospic, but he didn't stay for long. He didn't have the right papers to live there, so he was asked to leave. Sadly, in April 1879, Tesla's father passed away after being ill. This was a difficult time for Tesla and his family. After his father's death, Tesla stayed in Gospic for the rest of the year. To earn money, he became a teacher in his old school. He taught a large class of students. It was a way to support himself and use his knowledge. In January 1880, with help from his uncles, Tesla moved to Prague. He wanted to study at the university there. However, when he arrived, he found out it wasn't easy to enroll. He needed to know Greek and Czech, but he didn't. So Tesla couldn't officially become a student. But he still went to the university and listened to lectures on philosophy. He learned new things, even though he didn't get grades for these classes. In 1881, Tesla moved to Budapest, in Hungary. He got a job thanks to Tivadar Puskás, who he knew from before. The job was at the Budapest Telephone Exchange, a new company for sending messages by telephone. When Tesla started, the company was still being built. It wasn't working yet. So, at first, Tesla worked as a draftsman again, this time in the Central Telegraph Office. After a few months, the Budapest Telephone Exchange opened. Tesla became the chief electrician. This was an important job. He was in charge of the electrical equipment. During his time there, Tesla made improvements to the equipment in the main telephone station. He also said he invented a new type of telephone repeater, a device to make phone signals stronger over long distances. However, he never got a patent for this invention, and he didn't tell anyone much about it. Working in Budapest was a valuable experience for Tesla. He learned a lot about the new technology of telephones and showed his skills in electrical engineering. 5. Moving to America. After gaining valuable experience in Budapest, Tesla's career took him to Paris in 1882. He started working for the Continental Edison Company. This was a big company that was bringing electric light to cities. Tesla joined the team in Paris to install electric lighting systems across the city. This was a brand new industry, and Tesla was right in the middle of it. In Paris, Tesla was involved in the practical side of electrical engineering. He was not just designing things on paper, he was actually putting them into place. He worked on installing indoor incandescent lights, which were becoming more and more popular. This job gave him a lot of hands-on experience. He learned how power plants worked and how to make sure electricity reached homes and businesses. People at the company quickly noticed Tesla's talent. He had a deep understanding of engineering and physics. Soon, he was not just installing systems, but also improving them. Tesla was asked to design better versions of dynamos, which are machines that generate electricity, and motors. His ideas were helpful, and he gained recognition from his managers for his skills and knowledge. Tesla's work was not limited to Paris. The Edison Company had projects in other places too. He was sent to different parts of France and even to Germany to solve engineering problems at other Edison power plants that were being built. This travel broadened his experience and showed him different challenges in the new electricity industry. In 1884, a manager from the Paris company, Charles Batchelor, moved back to the United States to manage the Edison Machine Works in New York City. Batchelor knew Tesla's skills and asked him to come to America as well. This was a big opportunity for Tesla. He decided to move to New York and continue his work there. Tesla arrived in America in June 1884. New York was very different from Europe. Edison's factory, the Machine Works, was on the Lower East Side of Manhattan, a busy and crowded part of the city. Tesla found the change from the elegant cities of Europe to this busy factory a bit of a shock. The factory was full of workers, machinists, engineers, and many others, all working hard to build the electric system for New York. Tesla started working at the Machine Works almost immediately. Like in Paris, he was given the job of fixing problems and making generators better. He quickly became part of the team, using his skills to improve the efficiency and reliability of Edison's electrical systems. One of his first projects was to work on street lighting using arc lamps. Arc lamps were very bright and were used for lighting streets in large areas. Tesla began designing a new arc lamp system. using his knowledge to create something better and more efficient for the growing American city. 6. Working with Edison. After arriving in America, Tesla quickly started working at the Edison Machine Works in New York City. This factory was a busy place with many workers, building the new electric power system for the city. Tesla's job was similar to what he did in Paris. He had to fix problems with the electrical systems and improve the generator. Tesla was good at his job. He knew a lot about engineering and physics. He worked on making the dynamos, which are machines that create electricity, better and more efficient. He also started to develop a system for arc lamps. Arc lamps were a type of street lighting that was very bright, but they needed high-voltage electricity, unlike Edison's system, which used low voltage for light bulbs in homes. It is possible that Tesla met Thomas Edison, the famous inventor, a few times. Tesla himself wrote about one meeting. He had worked all night fixing broken dynamos on a ship called the SS Oregon. When he saw Mr. Batchelor, his manager, and Edison, they joked about him being out all night. Tesla told them he was fixing the ship. Edison then said to Batchelor that Tesla was a damned good man, meaning he was very capable. One important project Tesla was given was to create a new street lighting system using arc lamps. Arc lights were popular for streets, but Edison's company was focused on light bulbs for houses and businesses. Tesla designed an arc lamp system. However, this system was never used. Maybe it was because light bulbs were getting better for street lighting, or maybe Edison made a deal with another company that already made arc lamps. Tesla worked for Edison for about 6 months. Then he left. It is not completely clear why he quit. One reason might be money. Tesla said that the manager at Edison's factory promised him a bonus of $50,000 if he designed new types of machines. Tesla did the work, but he did not get the bonus. He felt it was a joke. Some stories say that Edison himself made the promise and then refused to pay, saying Tesla did not understand American humor. Whether it was Edison or the manager, and if it was a real promise or a misunderstanding, is not certain. What is known is that Tesla felt he was owed money and did not receive it. He had argued about bonuses before at Edison's company. His diary from that time simply says, "Goodbye to the Edison Machine Works." It seems the disagreement about the bonus, and perhaps other frustrations, led Tesla to leave Edison's company. He decided to start working on his own ideas. This decision would change his life and the future of electricity. 7. New company starts. After leaving Edison's company, Tesla had a plan. He had designed a new type of arc lighting system. Arc lights were bright and used for street lighting. Tesla believed his system was better. He decided to get a patent for his invention. To get a patent, Tesla needed help. He met a patent lawyer named Lemuel W. Sorel. Sorel knew people in business. He introduced Tesla to 2 businessmen, Mr. Lane and Mr. Vail. They liked Tesla's ideas. They agreed to help him start a company. In 1885, Tesla, Lane, and Vail started a new company. It was called Tesla Electric Light and Manufacturing Company. This was Tesla's first company. He was very excited. He worked hard to get patents for his inventions. One of his first patents for the new company was for a better DC generator. DC generators make direct current electricity. Tesla and his new company built an arc lighting system in Rahway, a town in New Jersey. They installed the system, and it worked well. People in the town could see the new bright street lights. The newspapers wrote about Tesla's system. They said it was very advanced. But Lane and Vail, the businessmen, were not interested in Tesla's other ideas. Tesla had ideas about alternating current, or AC. AC power was different from DC power. Tesla thought AC was the future. He had ideas for new AC motors and machines. However, Lane and Vail were only interested in arc lighting. They wanted to make money quickly with streetlights. They did not see the potential of AC power. They decided they only wanted to run an electric company, providing light. They were not interested in manufacturing new products or developing Tesla's AC inventions. In 1886, the investors made a big decision. They started a new company just to run the electric utility. They left Tesla's original company behind. Tesla was left with nothing. He had no money and no company. He even lost control of his patents because he had given them to the company in exchange for company shares. The company was not successful, and Tesla did not become rich as he had hoped. This was a difficult time for Tesla. He had to find work to survive. He took different jobs, even repairing electrical equipment. He even worked digging ditches for $2 a day. Tesla was highly educated and a talented inventor. He felt disappointed and sad. He thought his education and skills were useless at that moment. But Tesla did not give up. He continued to believe in his ideas, especially his ideas about AC power. He knew that AC was important for the future of electricity, even if his first company had failed. 8. AC power is here. After the failure of his first company, Tesla didn't give up. He still believed in his ideas. Soon, he met two businessmen, Mr. Brown and Mr. Peck. They were interested in helping inventors and making money from new inventions. They listened to Tesla's ideas about new electrical equipment, including a special kind of motor. Brown and Peck decided to support Tesla. In 1887, they created a new company called the Tesla Electric Company. They gave Tesla money to live on and a place to work, a laboratory in New York City. Tesla was very happy to have this chance to continue his work. In his new lab, Tesla worked hard on his ideas. He focused on a new type of motor that used alternating current, or AC. AC power was becoming more popular in Europe and America because it could travel long distances more easily than direct current, DC. Tesla's new motor was special. It was an induction motor. This motor used something called polyphase current. Polyphase current creates a rotating magnetic field. Imagine magnets spinning around and around. This spinning magnetic field made the motor turn. Tesla said he had thought of this idea a few years earlier, in 1882. This AC induction motor was a big step forward. It was simple, and it started by itself. It also didn't need a commutator, a part that other motors used which caused sparks and needed a lot of repair. Tesla patented his AC motor in May 1888. Brown and Peck helped him get the word out about his invention. They arranged for tests to show that the motor worked well. They also sent information to newspapers and magazines that wrote about technology. Then, a big company became interested. It was the Westinghouse Electric Company, owned by George Westinghouse. Westinghouse was already working with AC power. His company needed a good AC motor to make their system better. Westinghouse engineers saw that Tesla's motor was very good. They told Mr. Westinghouse that Tesla had invented something important. Westinghouse learned that Tesla had a patent for his AC motor. He also knew that another inventor in Italy, Mr. Ferraris, had also made a similar motor. But Tesla's patent seemed stronger. In July 1888, Westinghouse made a deal with Tesla, Brown, and Peck. Westinghouse would pay them $60,000 in cash and company stock. He also agreed to pay Tesla a royalty, a small amount of money for every horsepower of AC power his motors produced. It was a lot of money for Tesla at that time. Westinghouse also hired Tesla to work for him for 1 year in Pittsburgh at a very high salary. Tesla went to Pittsburgh to work in the Westinghouse factories. He was supposed to help them build an AC power system for the city's streetcars. But it was not easy. Tesla had disagreements with the Westinghouse engineers. They had different ideas about how to use AC power. They finally agreed on a system using 60-cycle AC. Tesla had suggested this frequency because it worked well with his motor, but they soon found out that Tesla's induction motor was not good for streetcars. It could only run at one speed. Streetcars needed motors that could change speed. So, in the end, they used DC motors for the streetcars instead. At the same time, the electricity business was becoming very competitive. Three big companies were fighting for customers: Westinghouse, Edison, and Thomson-Houston. They were all spending a lot of money and trying to sell electricity cheaper than the others. There was even a war of currents. Edison's company said that DC power was better and safer. Westinghouse used AC power, and Edison tried to make AC look bad. Because of this competition, Westinghouse Electric had money problems. In 1890, there was a financial crisis. Investors wanted their money back from Westinghouse. The company needed to borrow money, but the new lenders said Westinghouse had to cut costs. One of the things they wanted to cut was the royalty payments to Tesla for his motor patent. At that time, Tesla's AC motor was still new and not yet very successful in the market. Westinghouse was paying Tesla a lot of money in royalties, even though not many motors were being used yet. Westinghouse explained his problems to Tesla. He said that if he didn't agree to the lender's demands, he might lose control of his company. If that happened, Tesla might not get any more money in the future. Tesla understood that it was important for Westinghouse to keep promoting AC power. He knew that his motor was important for the future of electricity, so Tesla made a very generous decision. He agreed to give up his royalty payments. He tore up the contract with Westinghouse. This meant Tesla lost a lot of money he could have become very rich with. But he believed in AC power, and he wanted to help Westinghouse make it successful. Years later, Westinghouse bought Tesla's patent for a large sum of money as part of a new agreement with another company, General Electric, which was formed when Edison and Thomson-Houston companies joined together. Tesla's invention of the AC induction motor and his agreement with Westinghouse were key moments. AC power was now ready to take over the world. It was a big step towards the modern electrical world we know today, all thanks to Tesla's brilliant invention and his willingness to sacrifice for his ideas. 9. Lab in New York. With the money from his alternating current, AC patents, Tesla became a rich and independent man. He could now fully focus on his own ideas and inventions. He left the company he had started with Brown and Peck and set up his own laboratories in New York City. These labs were in Manhattan, in different locations over the next few years. The first lab was on Grand Street. Later, he moved to South Fifth Avenue and then to East Houston Street. These were not just workshops. They were places where Tesla's team could experiment and create. In these labs, Tesla did some of his most important work. One of his most famous inventions from this time was the Tesla coil. Tesla had learned about electromagnetic waves and wanted to explore them further. He created a special transformer, which he called an oscillating transformer. This device was different from other coils because it used air instead of insulation between its parts. This new coil could produce very high voltage, high frequency electricity. It became known as the Tesla coil and would be crucial in his future wireless power experiments. Tesla used the Tesla coil to experiment with high-frequency currents. He was fascinated by the possibilities of these currents. He gave public demonstrations to show the effects of high-frequency electricity. One impressive demonstration was wireless lighting. Tesla could light up gas-filled tubes and even light bulbs without any wires connecting them. He did this using inductive and capacitive coupling, sending power through the air over short distances. These demonstrations were very popular and showed the potential of his ideas. In 1891, Tesla became a citizen of the United States. He was 35 years old and had made America his new home. That same year, he also patented the Tesla coil, securing his invention. Tesla was also thinking about wireless communication. He believed that it might be possible to send signals without wires, perhaps even across long distances. He started to develop these ideas, which would later lead to more ambitious projects. During this productive time, Tesla was also recognized by his peers. He was elected vice president of the American Institute of Electrical Engineers, AIEE, from 1892 to 1894. This was a significant position in the engineering community, showing the respect he had gained. The AC polyphase system, which Tesla had developed, was becoming more and more important. Westinghouse Electric, who had licensed Tesla's patents, promoted it as the Tesla polyphase system. In 1893, the World's Columbian Exposition was held in Chicago. This was a huge event, and electricity was a major theme. Westinghouse Electric won the contract to light the entire exposition with AC power using the Tesla polyphase system. At the exposition, Westinghouse had a large exhibit dedicated to electricity. Tesla's AC motors were a key part of this display. Visitors could see how the rotating magnetic field worked through demonstrations, including a famous Egg of Columbus's demonstration. Tesla himself visited the fair and gave demonstrations of his wireless lighting in a darkened room. The Columbian Exposition was a major success for AC power and for Tesla's inventions. It showed the public how safe, reliable, and efficient AC electricity was, and it highlighted Tesla's crucial role in this technology. Tesla's labs in New York were a hub of innovation, where he explored new ideas and made inventions that would change the world. He was now a celebrated inventor, working on the cutting edge of electrical science. 10. Wireless power ideas. Nikola Tesla had a dream. He wanted to send electricity without wires. In the 1890s, he started to work on this idea. He had already shown how to light lamps wirelessly in his lab, but now he wanted to do much more. He imagined a world where everyone could get power from the air, without needing cables. Tesla began to experiment a lot with wireless power. He used special coils to send electricity through the air. These were not just small experiments. He was thinking big. He wanted to create a system that could send power across long distances, even around the world. At that time, people were starting to understand radio waves. But Tesla was not sure about the theories of radio waves. He thought that sending power using radio waves was not the best way. He believed that radio waves would spread out and become weak over long distances. He was looking for a different way to send power wirelessly. Tesla thought about using the Earth and the air around it to carry electricity. Some people believed that the Earth's atmosphere was like a conductor, something that electricity can flow through easily. Tesla wanted to test this idea. He did experiments to see if he could send electricity through the ground and the air. To do bigger experiments, Tesla needed more space and stronger equipment. In 1899, he built a special lab in Colorado Springs, a place high up in the mountains. Here, he built very large coils. These coils were much bigger than anything he had used before. He used them to create very high voltages of electricity. In Colorado Springs, Tesla made artificial lightning. He created huge sparks of electricity that were many meters long. It was like having a thunderstorm in his lab. These experiments were very powerful and sometimes caused problems. One time, he made so much power that he accidentally caused a power cut in the town of El Paso. While experimenting in Colorado Springs, Tesla noticed something strange. He picked up unusual signals with his equipment. He thought these signals might be coming from somewhere else, maybe even from another planet. He told reporters about this, and some newspapers wrote stories saying Tesla was talking to Mars. Tesla wanted to build a big tower to send wireless power and messages all over the world. He called this project Wardenclyffe Tower. He got money from a rich banker named J.P. Morgan to build it. Morgan thought he was investing in a new system for wireless communication, but Tesla also wanted to use the tower for wireless power. At the same time, another inventor, Guglielmo Marconi, was also working on wireless communication. Marconi was using radio waves to send messages. There was a kind of race to see who could create the best wireless system first. Tesla and Marconi became competitors. Tesla started building Wardenclyffe Tower on Long Island, near New York. The tower was very tall, like a giant needle pointing to the sky. But the project started to have problems. It cost a lot of money, and Morgan was not willing to give Tesla more funds. Tesla faced financial problems and competition from Marconi, who successfully sent radio signals across the Atlantic Ocean. Tesla's Wardenclyffe project began to fail. He could not finish building the tower because he ran out of money. In the end, the Wardenclyffe Tower was never completed, and Tesla's dream of wireless power for everyone did not come true at that time. It was a big disappointment for Tesla, and it left him in financial trouble. This dream, although not realized then, showed how far ahead of his time Tesla was thinking. 11. Tesla's problems and new ideas. After his Wardenclyffe Tower didn't work, Tesla had money problems. He spent a lot on it and had little money left. He had to close his lab and find new ways to live. Money was a big problem for Tesla. He liked inventing more than making money. After Wardenclyffe, he saw that his idea for wireless power wouldn't make him rich quickly. He started having money problems and lived in hotels in New York. Often, he couldn't pay and moved to different hotels like the Waldorf Astoria and the St. Regis. Even with money problems, Tesla kept inventing. One invention was the bladeless turbine. It used discs, not blades, to make power. Tesla thought it would be very good. He showed a turbine that was very powerful for its size, but it was hard to make it work perfectly. The bladeless turbine was used a little in speedometers, but it wasn't very popular. Tesla also had legal fights. He thought Marconi, who invented the radio, used his ideas. Tesla sued Marconi, saying radio used his wireless patents. The case was long. Finally, the court agreed with some of Tesla's old patents. But Marconi was still seen as the radio inventor, and Tesla didn't get much from the case. There were also rumors about the Nobel Prize. People said Tesla and Edison might share it in 1915, but it didn't happen. Other scientists won. Some stories said Tesla and Edison didn't want to share, but the Nobel people said this wasn't true. We don't know if Tesla was really considered, but he never got the Nobel Prize. But Tesla did get some recognition. He received medals and awards from countries like Serbia, France, and the USA. One award was the Edison Medal. These awards showed people still knew Tesla's work was important, even when he had problems. Tesla also kept thinking of new ideas. He worked on devices to make ozone. Ozone is a type of oxygen that can clean. Tesla used his Tesla coil to make ozone, thinking it could be used for medicine and cleaning room. He had interesting ideas about electricity and brains. Tesla thought electricity could make people smarter. He even thought about putting electric waves in schools to help students learn better. This idea wasn't used, but it shows he thought electricity was very powerful. Later in life, Tesla talked about strange inventions, like a death ray weapon. He said it could send energy far away to protect countries and stop wars. He never showed it working, and many people didn't believe him, but he tried to get governments interested. To stay in the news, Tesla started having birthday meetings when he was 75. Every year, he invited reporters to show his inventions and talk about new ideas. He made big claims about future things. Some claims were hard to believe, but these meetings helped people remember Tesla and showed he was still full of ideas. Tesla's later years were a mix of problems and new inventions. He had money and legal problems, but also got awards and kept having new ideas, both practical and very strange. 12. Last days and what he left. In his last years, Tesla's health started to decline. In 1937, when he was 81 years old, he was hit by a taxi while feeding pigeons, something he loved to do every day. He broke some ribs and hurt his back. He never fully recovered from these injuries. Tesla lived in the Hotel New Yorker for the last 10 years of his life. He didn't have much money anymore, but the Westinghouse Company helped him by paying for his room and giving him a small amount of money each month. It was like a thank you for his inventions. On the 7th of January, 1943, Tesla died alone in his hotel room. He was 86 years old. A hotel maid found him after he didn't want to be disturbed for 2 days. The doctor said he died from a heart problem. After Tesla's death, something unusual happened. The FBI, the American police, came to his hotel room and took all his things. They were interested in his research and inventions, especially his ideas about weapons, like the death ray. They called in a scientist, John G. Trump, to look at Tesla's papers and equipment. Trump concluded that Tesla's ideas were mostly dreams and not real inventions. He said there was nothing dangerous or important that could be used by enemies. One story says that in a box marked death ray, they only found old electrical parts. Tesla's body was cremated after a big funeral in New York City. Many people came to say goodbye to the famous inventor. His ashes were later taken to Belgrade, Serbia, and placed in a museum dedicated to him. Tesla never married and lived his life for his work. He believed that being alone helped him to be more creative. He had friends, but he was often seen as a lonely person who preferred to be in his own world of inventions. People who knew him described him as a gentleman, kind, polite, and generous. He loved to talk about his ideas and inventions. Some people thought he was a bit strange because he had unusual habits and beliefs. For example, he loved pigeons very much, especially a white pigeon he believed was special. Tesla had strong opinions about the world and science. He did not agree with some modern physics theories, like Einstein's theory of relativity. He believed in his own ideas about how the universe worked. He thought that space was just empty and could not be bent or curved, as Einstein said. He also had ideas about society. He thought that in the future, people should be more careful about who has children to improve the human race. This idea, called eugenics, was common at that time. But today, it is seen as wrong and unfair. Even though some of his later ideas were not successful, Tesla left an incredible legacy. His inventions changed the world. The alternating current, AC system he developed, is still used everywhere to power our homes and cities. Without AC power, we would not have many of the modern technologies we use every day. Today, Tesla is remembered as a genius and a visionary. The unit for measuring magnetic field strength is called Tesla in his honor. There are statues and memorials of Tesla all over the world, especially in Serbia and Croatia, his birth country. In Belgrade, there is the Nikola Tesla Museum, which keeps his personal belongings and many of his original documents. This archive is very important and is recognized by UNESCO as a World Heritage. Scientists and engineers continue to study Tesla's work and are inspired by his creativity and innovative spirit. In conclusion, Nikola Tesla was a brilliant and unusual man who had a huge impact on the world. He was a true genius who invented technologies that shaped modern life. Even though he faced difficulties and was sometimes forgotten during his lifetime, his legacy lives on, and his influence is still felt today in every corner of the world, powered by electricity.
Hey there! Just a second before you go. If you learned something new today, please give this video a like, write your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to the channel. It only takes a second, and it really, really helps to create even better English videos for you. Your support means the world. Thank you.